information that the computer would have. You type in the little box on Google and say, Welch ran this, right? What does that mean? Ran what, right? What does run mean in this case? Is someone out running? You know, so it's the nuance of the individual words and how they're used together that have to be thought through. Now, in this case, right, the evidence that it found, if leadership is an art, then surely Jack Welch has provided himself a master painter during his tenure at GE, right? How do you put those two things together, right? A human would put those together, right? But a computer in the past wouldn't be able to put those thoughts together, those pieces of information. But those are the kinds of things that can now be done. That's what we mean by natural language understanding, understanding the nuance of the language and how it's used, right? Now, it wouldn't come back and say Welch GE. It would come back with 5 answers and say Welch at GE has 80% confidence. You know, Welch is a grape juice, and we have 5% confidence on that. You know, it would come back with lots of answers that are kind of weird, right? And that, you know, is how the system works. It has to, you know, has to think through how language operates. It has to parse it down and then look at all the possibilities of what it could mean, and then build a confidence based on that, right? And that's what it does. So you start to look at things like noses that run and feet that smell, right? Right, what does that mean, right? Noses that run, I thought feet ran, right? Noses are used for smelling, right? So how do those two things get processed by a computer, right? How can a house burn up as it burns down, right? You know, so it's these are just to make the point that human language is very, very difficult for a machine to understand, right? So that's what this breakthrough in technology is all about, is starting to understand, not just input the information. And it builds its knowledge base while it's reading it. So it has to parse down all of the text that it's being read. It doesn't just store it so it can be searched. It actually parses it and breaks it apart and starts to link all the information together with what it already knows, right? Which is simulating, in many ways, the way we actually learn. It's simulating, right? Not learning. All right, so what's happening with Watson since we did it? It was a research project. It was a 5 or 4 year research project based on decades of research, right? So there's lots of little projects going on for decades, from before I even went to college. And the natural language understanding problem has been studied for decades and decades, right? And it's just getting to the point now where it's useful in this kind of thing. We used Jeopardy as a demonstration vehicle. That was kind of the coming out party for the technology and what it could do. Then, as I said,